Today we have with us two unique watches from the German manufacturer NOMOS Glashütte, the Tangente 38 and Ahoi Datum 40.3mm. NOMOS have not been around for too long, but despite this have left their mark already on the watchmaking industry, with their minimalist design, entry-level luxury pricing, and most of all, their supreme German quality and attention to detail. NOMOS Glashütte, as we have said, have not been around for all too long. The NOMOS name was registered by Roland Schwertner, who still heads sales at NOMOS today, in January 1990, only 2 months after the fall of the Berlin Wall. NOMOS draw their influence from the traditional German Bauhaus style of watch design, often resulting in minimalist style design, thin and sleek cases, and minimal box and papers, with NOMOS initially using Swiss-made ETA or Piezo 7001 manual wind movements. However, the company began to really stand out from the competing Swiss and German watch brands when in 2005 they began using exclusively in-house movements, beginning with the Alpha manual wind caliber, but expanding to manual wind calibers with more complications over time. With the development of their own escapement in 2014, NOMOS was no longer reliant at all with Swiss manufacturers. Most recently, in 2015, NOMOS introduced their 10th in-house caliber, the DUV Deutsche Uhrenwerk 3001, an extremely thin automatic caliber at only 3.1mm tall, exclusive to the Neomatic series, and in 2018 updating the Neomatic series with the Neomatic date with the DUV 6101 caliber. We have with us not one, but two brand new NOMOS Glashütte watches with us today. So we'll be reviewing them together, but one by one, so you always know which watch we're talking about. We'll begin with the most expensive of our two pieces, the Ahoi Datum 40.3mm. The Bauhaus design is clear to see in both these pieces. One key aspect of the Bauhaus design is minimalist casework, resulting in almost no bezel as the dial takes up almost the entirety of the face of the watch. The case is completely polished and very slab-sided and straight, with straight lugs that pivot out from the case at 90-degree angles, jolting down again to taper to the wrist. The lugs are drilled, which is a very useful feature for changing straps and not damaging the polished metal of the lugs. The case sides are flat and only interrupted on the crown side by the straight-edged crown guards, protecting the polished screw-down crown subtly marked with NOMOS print. It is a similar story with the Tangente, a fully polished, slab-sided case with straight pivoting lugs, again drilled for ease of access to the spring pins for changing straps. Due to the manual wind movement in the Tangente, the case thickness is particularly thin, measuring up at only 6mm thick. The crown here is also subtly marked with NOMOS text, but omitting the crown guards for the smaller, sleeker Tangente case. Both pieces feature fairly similar dials. As we mentioned earlier, the Bauhaus styling of the case and dial has necessitated minimal to no bezels at all. As a result, the Ahoi Datum dial takes up 38mm of the 40.3mm case size. The dial colour, though listed as white, is slightly off-white, with a very subtle grainy texture. Very subtle even in person, so almost impossible to capture on camera. The recessed second sub-dial has a deeply engraved radial grooving and contrasts the dial due to the moderately darker coloration and a slight sunburst effect, as well as housing a pop of colour with the bright orange sub-seconds hand. The main handset are in polished stainless steel with a polished hands cap, which although is a small feature, adds so much to the formal presentation of the watch. With lume fill to keep track of the time in the dark, as well as a lume marker at each hour of the dial. As in the name, the Ahoi Datum features a large date aperture at the 6 o'clock position, printed with black text to match the rest of the dial print. The font used for the numerals is very recognizable as NOMOS, as it is used in several of their dial designs across various models. The final, and perhaps most subtle aspect of the dial, being the slender Made in Germany text on the dial beneath the date window at 6 o'clock. As we mentioned before, NOMOS use the same numerals typeface in a number of their collections, and we see it again straight away in the Tangente 38. With a similar overall dial design to that of the Ahoi Datum, except the numerals being separated by thin baton hour markers, omitting the 6 o'clock marker due to being encroached by the sub-seconds dial. Again, the running seconds sub-dial has a turn finish, which is slightly less noticeable on the Tangente due to the matte finish to the dial. The dial itself is stark white, with thin, sleek, contrasting black text, as is traditional with the Bauhaus style design. The NOMOS text is vaguely bolder on the Tangente, which is slightly unusual given its smaller size. The delicate hands are constructed of thermally blued steel, with a polished normal steel hands cap. As we said, it is a really specialist feature for a watch, especially in the price bracket of the NOMOS. The strap on the Ahoi Datum is quite unique, with a black fabric strap, but not like I have seen before. The strap is soft, smart, but strong. One can tell with this strap in the hand from the weave of the fabric that it could withstand some genuine torture. The Tangente features a handmade black leather strap made of genuine shell Cordovan leather, an extremely fine equine leather most commonly found in luxury shoemaking, but it is also very popular in high quality watch straps. The shell Cordovan official stamp can be found on the reverse of the strap. NOMOS, as we mentioned, have been using exclusively in-house movements since 2005. The Ahoi Datum using the NOMOS DUV5101 automatic movement. One thing NOMOS are particularly well known for is their fantastically finished movements. With Cortez du Genève stripes on the rotor and bridges, blued screws, beveled edges, and a radial finish to the barrels. The DUV5101 features a NOMOS patented date mechanism. Even for an automatic mechanism, the movement is exceptionally thin, at only 4.3mm tall and 31mm across, yet housing 29 joules and storing up to 42 hours of power reserve. The Tangente is allowed much more understated proportions by the NOMOS Alpha manual movement. When the automatic module is removed, the thickness can be dropped significantly. As well, the movement is only 23mm across, while maintaining a full power reserve of up to 43 hours. The winding experience is satisfying on a watch as thin as the Tangente. Sadly, the movement is not visible through the solid, polished caseback. Both the boxes these watches come in can be purchased independently from NOMOS, and both are quite useful. The Ahoi Datum comes in NOMOS's leather travel case, made of soft, full-grain black and grey leather, with leather buttons securing the straps to keep your watch safe. Contrastingly, the Tangente comes in a more display-like watch box. Made of black poplar wood with a soft inlay, it's the perfect place to both display and protect your watch. For watches so intentionally simplistic and understated, there is so much more than meets the eye. For the price, nobody would guess that NOMOS have been using exclusively in-house movements for over 10 years, especially when the movement itself is so exceptionally finished and well presented. The Bauhaus design is almost claimed by NOMOS, as while competitors do it well, their reputation for quality and timeless design has led to them being one of the top manufacturers in Germany, and the most synonymous with the Bauhaus style of watches, in my opinion of course. If you enjoyed this article, be sure to check out the countless other horological reviews, articles and tips on the Watch Source blog. Be the first to be notified of our new blog releases by following our Facebook, Twitter or Instagram, linked below, and keep up to date with our YouTube video versions by subscribing and turning on the bell to receive notifications of our frequent updates. As always, visit the watchsource.co.uk and the watchsource.co.uk/pre-owned to view our extensive selection of luxury timepieces at unrivaled prices with up to 22% off luxury watches, specializing in over 40 opulent brands, both brand new and pre-owned, and and with over 60 years of combined experience in the luxury watch industry, we can more than fulfill all your horological needs.